Hello and welcome. This is Karen Monteverde coming to you live from the virtual offices of Green Mountain Enrichment and Empowerment Center. We have a branch of service called Biz Richmond, business classes worth taking. I am known as the Healer's Professional and Business Life Coach, and I work with healers, coaches, and spiritual leaders. I often come across tools that help my clients and listeners to live a life that is enriching and empowering. Today's tutorial is an ebook cover. So we often look for opportunities to help you find free resources. Now, if you already have Adobe Photoshop and you know how to use it, this is not the resource for you. But if you don't have Adobe Photoshop and you don't know how to use it, we want to offer you some products and services that you can find on the web. So we're going to talk about iStock Photos and Gimp and Word. I'm also using QuickTime Player version 10.2 to record this video and audio series. Then I'm going to use iMovie to integrate it all. There's other products for those of you who use Windows. So if you click on QuickTime Player and you hit New Screen Recording, down here in the bottom it'll come up and you hit the record button and it'll ask you, do you want to record the whole screen or do you want to just pick an area of your screen? I chose today to pick the whole screen. So we're going to show you what this process is. Again, the tutorial is how to create your ebook cover product page. We figure that you already know how to create an ebook. It's basically a Word document that you save as a PDF. And you can get covers from all over the place. There's free covers. We ask that you don't take other people's covers. Instead, there's several options that you can purchase or use for free. So the first product that we want to show you is Gimp, G-I-M-P. If you search for it on Google, it'll come up. It's the first one. It's a GNU image manipulation program. You can download it. It's for Mac or for Windows, and they have basic tutorials, quickies, and simple animations. This is Gimp. Welcome to Gimp. You can see this is the GNU image manipulation tool. The first thing we're going to do is open our book cover. And the book product that I created is my #1 best-selling book, Living Consciously in an Ego-Driven Society. My husband created the cover and then I created the book product. So the first thing we want to do is go find our book PDF that we gave away to my growth coaching with Laura. After we went to the big shift, we're coaching each other. But here's the PDF, and I created that in Word. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. This is Word for Mac. So if you have a PC, no big deal. You can see in the templates, you can create your own templates for this. There's stationary bit coordinate forms, resumes, things like that. You can use proposals. This allows you to create covers. What I used was brochure. And if you scroll down, you can see my cover looks much like the Revolution brochure cover page. So we're going to open that up. Oh, and by the way, you just save the Word to a PDF. If you don't know how to do that, contact me. I'll show you how. You can also get iStock Photos. They're very inexpensive. They have all kinds of different forums and merchandise. Some of these are free, some of them cost. We ask that you don't go on the web and take other people's pictures because they paid for those. And people deserve to be paid for what they have produced on the web. I know it's really tempting to go out there and just take what you need, but we're going to ask you to live in integrity and responsibility and authenticity as a coach. You don't want people coming and taking your stuff for free that you worked really hard on. So you can use iStock Photos. You can go on the web. There's a lot of places where you can get free photos. Let's go back to Gimp. We're going to open up our brochure. You can remember it's a PDF and this is an image processing. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And it gives me all the pages, but we're just going to select the first page and go ahead and import that. And you want your resolution to be 72 DPI or better, no more than 100 if you're going to do a book product for online. Now, if you're going to do print material, you want 300 or better. So here it is. This is the brochure, and it creates a layer for you. These are for anybody who has worked with AutoCAD or Adobe Photoshop, you understand what layers are. But what these are ways to organize the different aspects, or think of it like pieces of paper. And you can layer the pieces of paper, and they can be translucent or opaque depending upon what it is that you need. I also use pencil for animation tools. They use the layer program. So these are selection tools. There's a rectangle, oval, free form tool, and your fuzzy. We're going to use the color picker today, the move tool, and we're going to use paintbrush and the eraser tool. We're going to use the clone tool or the stamp tool in Adobe Photoshop. You can use text tool, and we're going to use the bucket fill tool. We'll probably use the smudge tool. So let's go ahead and get on, and then I'll introduce you to the other tools as we need them. The first thing you want to do is create a new layer. And you'll see over here on the right where it says layers, a new layer will come up. The new layer usually gets put behind the toolbox, and that little box, dialog box comes up. So, you need to move stuff and pay attention to what's going on around you. So we're going to change the layer name here to edges. We're going to say OK. And move our toolbox back up there. That's great. We're going to select the edges of this ebook, and we're going to do that right here. And you can see what it did is we created a selection. We're going to pick the color that we want. We're going to use this for the edges. And you have to actually be on the layer for that to happen, to pick the right color. Okay, and then we're just going to create a bucket of color, and you see it fills up the whole thing. Now you can see the layer is on top, so we're going to move the layer underneath the word brochure. Oh, look at this. So what happens is you don't see it anymore because there's white actually on the brochure cover. Right? And we need that to be translucent. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete the white. So the first thing we'll do is hit the selection tool, then we're going to hit the rectangle, and this mode allows you to select or subtract from the current selection. Okay, so what we're going to do is use the fuzzy selection tool, and we're going to make sure our selection is on. We're going to click all that. Then we'll click on the rectangle, and we're going to increase the size of this rectangle and the zoom. So let me reposition that, and we want to take out this portion because we want the brand or our logo to stay in there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is delete the background. You can see it's now transparent. Select none. You can see the edges of our book. They're nice and pretty and sharp and all that. So you see how the book cover has actually a depth. There's a depth to it. So we're going to actually use the edges and copy that to a new layer. Then we're going to move the layer. You want to make sure that you pick. Now you can see that I've got pick on layer or guide, and as I'm moving it's not doing what I want it to do. So if you click on move the active layer, that's a better choice. So I'm just picking it up and moving it some amount, and let's change the layer image, this to layer size. It's a little big, so let's try and move that back again. We're going to move this over just a little bit because our book isn't that thick. You want it to have some depth and some thickness, but you don't want it to look like an encyclopedia. And then change your layer image size again so it selects the whole image. Then turn off the back layer. See, you can see that then we're going to select the edge copy, and we're going to invert that. Or shrink it. Actually, let's shrink it, okay? Well, let's shrink it by, say, 10 pixels? 15. Okay, 15 it is. And we're going to turn that edge back on. Yeah, that works pretty good. Let's go ahead and delete this. And you do that with your eraser tool. Just go up there and make that, oh, let's make it 400. Okay, good. So we're just going to erase that. The inside portion of these edges. And now you can actually just hit the delete key and it'll delete it too. But I wanted to show you the eraser tool. You can see that this, let's zoom over here. We're going to look at this edge. See how nice and pretty that is. Let's just go ahead and add a rectangle to this area right here. And let's just pull this down all the way down. Now we've got it, you can see the numbers are just flying by there on the left. Till we get the end, make sure we get the right pixels, and then we're just going to hit the delete key. And again, I just wanted to make sure that you understood how to use the eraser tool. That's why we did it the other way. But you can actually just hit the delete key and select none. And you can see now we have a little bit of depth perception for our edge copy. Right, and let's turn the brochure layer back on. You can see how that looks. Isn't that nice? And you can see from our book product for the Living Consciously in an Ego-Driven Society, it has a nice depth perception to it. Let's zoom in here and look at these edges. Now what you want to do is use your paintbrush and change the size back down to, let's just do, let's see, 2. We'll change the hardness to hard. That gives us how much pressure the brush, how much actual paint. Oops, wrong color. I actually wanted to use this color. So let's flip that around. That's foreground and background, and that arrow just allows you to move them back and forth. That gives us our angle for our book cover, how thick we want it. And we're going to do it over here. And that's good. We're going to change this size back to, let's say, 12. Okay. And we're just going to use the brush tool and just go straight down. This isn't working so well, but, I'll show you how to do it another way in just a moment. So you can just hit the little move button over there on the right bottom part of the screen. And then you can just pick one end and then the other and it fills it up. Then we're going to go over here and fill this edge up so that looks really nice. Change this size back down to 1 and change our zoom into, say, 400 so we get this edge nice and clear. Okay, that's nice. And then we're just going to hit that tool. Oops, I forgot. That's already erased. Let's use the paintbrush. Move that back up to 20 and we'll just go from edge to edge. And that gets that all nice and filled in. And let's move this back down to 1. Just get this nice little crisp edge there. There we go. And I kind of went over, so we're going to use the select tool again and just delete that and then select none. Move back up to the top. We're going to do the same process. You use the scroll bar here on the right to move up to the top. And we're going to just pick that and fill that all in nice and neat. Right? And then if you turn the edges off, you can see how that looks. Let's zoom back out. There's your edges. We're select none. I'm going to go really fast, but realize that you can always back up the video. You can pause it as you're going and you're doing this yourself. So that's the great thing about these tutorials is you can go at your own pace, pause them, do your thing. But this is just really an overview. And if you want specific tools for Gimp, go to the Gimp website. They have the tutorials there.